But in general, I mean, he's definitely got to be a pretty big dog game one.
Right.
He's got some killer cyborg cards we'll get to in a minute, but game one is going to be the rough one.
Yeah, exactly. He has guys. I guess the only saving grace for goblins is the clock, but the problem is that the clock isn't that fast in goblins compared to the other tribal decks. It's like you play a lackey, God start, right? You hit him, play a siege gang commander. You can get some real nasty stuff going on there, but you're still looking at a turn 4 or 5 kill here, unless you involve multiple pile drivers. But looking at this list, I believe he has, yes, 1 goblin pile driver. The new age of goblins is a 1 pile driver mantra. It's not like the old 4 pile drivers where you can get that nut start of War Chief, untap, pile driver, pile driver, pile driver. You know, can't do that anymore.
Gerry Thompson up to 2 land, and it's worth noting that this game could be over next turn.
It could be. Yep. Mean, look at his hand. I see. It looks like he mulliganed at least once.
Yeah, and he doesn't actually have any of his ways to cheat his cards into play. No show and tell, no violent outburst, no shardless agent. And remember, for those not familiar, the way that this Hypergenesis deck works is it has a number of Cascade cards that always hit Hypergenesis because Gerry's not using any cards that cost 2 or less besides Hypergenesis.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he also has show and tell as a backup plan. Not only can he show and tell out a big creature, often he'll just show and tell out an Omniscience, so that all his creatures from now on are free. Yeah,
Omniscience kind of reminds me of, I guess it would be a better version of Eureka that would be in this deck, because Eureka's a cool card and doesn't really see play, but that allows everyone to play their cards. You want to be the one playing your cards for free, right?
Well, plus, Gerry has Force of Wills and Misdirections.
Right.
So Omniscience provides those all-important blue cards.
Yep. So end of turn we have a Lackey. Pretty much a similar route of just playing it. He's going to be able to... Ooh, he drew Thalia. That is a great draw. Thalia, much better against this deck than most decks out there, so you want it against the combo deck where he's playing against. So Lackey connects. We'll see what kind of monster he drops. Probably going to be... So I thought it was the Matron. Yeah, Matron's usually the card that comes off Lackey. It's one of the few 4s in the deck there.
So do you think there's any chance he gets the Sting Scourger, just to give him a layer of protection? Oh, he gets the Ringleader. He just wants the fast clock.
Yeah, I kind of would... I think I like... pile driver here only because you really need to kill Gerry quickly. Like, you can't let him sit there and play draw go with him, and pile driver ends it very fast.
Yeah, because Jerry's got 11 different cards that basically win the game as soon as he draws them.
Yep.
At this point.
He's going to go ahead and port. I think Aether Vial should definitely get Thalia in play before Gerry can do anything. I mean, at this point, he can already cast Show and Tell 1 more land. He can already... and that's pretty much the only spell in his deck.
Well, and if you put down Thalia right now, he actually can't cascade into a Hypergenesis unless he has a Spirit Guide of some sort.
Exactly, yeah.
Which he does, but obviously Mireles doesn't know that.
Yeah, you got to give it a shot. But I don't think Gerry still doesn't have anything, does he? He just has a bunch of creatures. Well, he might be casting a Spirit Guide here.
Yeah, at this point, Gerry's, I got to just defend myself. I got to do something here.
It's always fun to see the Spirit Guides come on down as men of battle. They're going to be blocking here.
Gerry with 0 forms of interaction outside of his fatties. Obviously like Terastodon can affect the board, but
yeah, and he's pretty much at mercy right now. Mireles is in a great position. He's pretty much got goblins galore here. He's got the Gem Palm Incinerator in his hand to deal with the Simian Spirit Guide, so he's going to go ahead and cycle that, continue on thrashing here, putting goblins in play, having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, is it reasonable to think Gerry might... I mean, Gerry's next turn might be his last?
It might be, yeah. Gerry's at 17, but we're going to see how goblins can really punch out some damage, because Aether Vial's at 3, so he's going to be able to tap the Aether Vial, put the War Chief in play, playing only 2 for the next War Chief, then he only has to pay 2 for the Ringleader, so he pretty much can unload his hand right now if he wanted to. So we'll see what he does here. I'm sure he's tempted just to cycle Incinerator here, play another War Chief.
And it's worth noting, it's not even certain that if Gerry has just a Show and Tell that he can win.
Right.
Because it's possible that Mireles can just fight through an Emrakul or a Terastodon.
Yeah. It's not an auto win once it gets to this late point in the game. He should have used his Aether Vial and put War Chief in play with haste. There's no reason to wait. And he gets a Tarfire. Yeah, this is another reason why if he had Pile Driver this turn, Gerry would be dead the next turn. Pile Driver gets +2/+0 for every attacking goblin. He would have War Chief. He has another War Chief. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 goblins. Pile Driver would get +10/+0, and that's super dead.
Yeah, I got a feeling he's going to be dead. Just just on the merits of the war chief and the
Right. Yeah.
and the ringleader. But either way, I think the pressure is on. It's pretty clear Gerry needs to go off, and it's going to be particularly tough because Gerry doesn't have any mana.
He drew Charlotte's Agent.
Oh, Charlotte's Agent was actually the perfect one.
Right.
Violent Outburst would have cost an extra mana because of Thalia.
Yeah.
But because he has Shardless Agent, he won't have to pay an extra mana for the agent, just the Hypergenesis.
Right.
And he has an Elvish Spirit Guide in his hand, so he has exactly enough.
Yeah, that's a good draw.
That was a phenomenal draw.
And I think Mireles kind of handicapped himself a little bit because, in your opinion, I think that, or in both of our opinions, don't you think that the surprise is out when you're playing goblins? It's not like an end of turn war chief is better than a main phase war chief.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just got the extra damage in, the extra 2 points of damage in.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's not clear how the next turn's going to shake out. You don't want to just miss any. I mean, it's not like Gerry's going to play any differently.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now that said, Gerry has certainly not, got this game in the bag by any means. It's going to be a very, very, very good turn for Gerry.
Yep. And here's the Elvish Spirit Guide to pay for the additional mana.
Now, it looks like Gerry's going to get an Emrakul and a Terastodon to go along with his Charlotte's Agent. Do you think the Terastodon just blows up 3 of Gerry's own land?
I think so. I think you need to go full defense at this point. Maybe, if not 3, then... Yeah, I think I'd blow up all 3. Because you have Emrakul and that's eventuality, you might as well just, shields up fully. I'd blow up 3 of my own way. Yep.
Now, is Mireles not playing any of his goblins?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know how it works out here with Hypergenesis here.
Yeah,
He might not know.
I mean, he really needs to get all those goblins into play.
Yeah, he can't. He
have as much of a board presence as possible.
Yeah, he doesn't even use Aetherval on a turn.
A little shook up, perhaps. It's definitely and he packs the cards in.
Do you think Gerry could have died that turn? He had 3 goblins in his hand with a ringleader that would come into play. He could have.
And the ringleader that would be in play would be get him a whole bunch more goblins that he likely could have cast for very cheap.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, the other big thing to remember is that Gerry didn't actually have lethal. Gerry only could attack for 15 unblockable, and Mireles is at 20. As long as he can find 6 permanents to sacrifice and can block 5 other creatures.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like a boatload, but like he had lots of random permanents, he had lots of creatures, and he could have drawn a lot more creatures if he just activates his ringleader.
Yeah, the ringleaders can chain. He plays 4 goblin ringleader, which just goes into, you hit one off another one, and then you get to keep going.
But it can be tough sometimes because like Legacy is such a bizarre format. Sometimes it just seems like like they do their combo and that's just it.
Right,
it's hard to, unless I've tested the matchup a fair bit, sometimes it can be hard to know when are those corner cases where you actually have a shot.
Right. And Mireles is also obviously unaware that Hypergenesis is a card that rarely any of us play against, that you also get to put permanents in play as well, because he could have easily just dumped his hand too and would have had a force to be reckoned with. So game 2, you mentioned that sideboard has a few ins and outs in this situation. You have Angel of Despair, but he has the Angel of Despair in his sideboard for goblins. Problem is, if he doesn't know how Hypergenesis works, if he doesn't know that he can also...
No. Yeah, so I got to imagine that he just, slipped, for a second. Like, I think he knows. I think he just, it was, in that moment, and plus Gerry's got an aura about him.
Yeah, he's an intimidating fella.
You've met Gerry.
Yeah,
you don't want to meet Gerry in a dark alley.
No, he's a very scary man.
But, actually, Mireles has a variety of interaction. In addition to Angel of Despair, which can be medium effective against Hypergenesis, but more importantly against Show and Tell, he also has Aethersworn Canonist, which can completely shut Gerry down. Right,
yeah, that stops the combo, and it says tracks whenever there's a cascade situation, the Canonist will stop the cascade. And obviously very good in this particular matchup. So you should bring in all those. And
that's definitely it. Just take out some of the mediocre cards like Tarfire.
Yeah, Tarfire, Goblin Sharpshooter.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
maybe a Siege-Gang Commander.
Yeah, maybe Sting Scourger, maybe.
No, so you got to keep the Sting Scourger. It's still good with Show and Tell. I guess Show and Tell and Hypergenesis.
Right, yeah, you're right.
But the on Gerry's side, what's Gerry going to bring in? Because he's got a lot of good options, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we see 4 Dismember in his sideboard. I don't know if that's particularly for goblins or for this deck. I think it's more mainly for like hate bears. But he knows if he sees the white, so he knows he has Thalia. But I'm pretty sure he knows he has Aethersworn Canonist too. That's the reason why goblins plays white. Where then you need to bring Dismember in because you have to have an answer to the.
Gerry has an encyclopedic knowledge of the decks people have been playing in this format, and this is very similar to a goblins list that was played in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna first of all want an answer to Thalia. Second, anticipate the Canonist. But what I wonder is, do you think there's any chance he also brings an Igniture?
Maybe.
Not only can it hit the Canonist, it hits Aether Vial.
Yeah, I think I would. I'd bring in at least a couple of those. I don't know which one's better in this matchup because you don't want to bring in 4 Dismember of 3 Igniture.
Well, the key is that these misdirections are awful.
Right.
You definitely don't want misdirection.
Yeah, all those are gone. And Force of Will is also kind of weak as well. But
yeah, right. You don't love Force of Will, but you also it's not even clear if you want 3 Omniscience.
Right. Actually, I think you do cut the 4 Force of Will and 3 Misdirection because the 7 cards you're bringing in serve the same purpose as the Force. The cards you're forcing are Aethersworn Canonist and Thalia, right?
Well, the other thing you got to the other option Gerry's got to consider is he's got 2 Cydia Traders in his sideboard, which he might want to bring in to help fight the Wastelands, the Rashad Imports, even the Thalias. You know, Cydia Traders can be super crucial in these mana denial or land death, as some would say, matchups. And
land death, yep.
I just think as a backup plan, shaving an Omniscience for a Cydia Traders is at least, worth considering.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as long as you bring in answers to Thalia and Aethersworn Canonist and Cydia Traders to handle the Wasteland, I can't see the matchup still being heavily in Mireles' favor. I think it's going to be more in Gerry's favor.
Well, no, I think the matchup's supposed to be heavily in Gerry's favor game 1 anyway.
Yeah, game 1, I think game 1 and 2. It's just so tough for Goblins to defeat combo. And when I've watched this recently, in the last few weeks, especially Goblins that won eventually in Minnesota, is that it requires the combo player to make a few missteps here and there most times. And Gerry obviously is, I wouldn't count on many missteps coming from this guy right now.
Is Gerry the most decorated SCG Open competitor in the history of the series?
Yes.
Like in terms of just SCG Open tournament finishes?
Yeah, he would be the first. We have a few...
although William Jensen is going to give him a run for his money.
Chasing up. Gerry won 2 invitationals, probably top 8 like 50 opens or so, won a few. Behind him probably would be like Chris Anderson.
Now Gerry actually does have literally 40 top 8s, right?
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. Usually I say
maybe 50. I don't know, at least 40.
We
can get a ruling. If anybody at home has any freaking idea how many top 8s Gerry has, maybe he only has 38. I don't know.
Yeah, we could be wrong.
All I know is that it's pretty unbelievable how many.
Yep. So Mireles fetches the land up, Plateau. Let's see if he's got that lackey. He's got nothing. Just thinning out the deck. Let's say his hand is very high costed. Yeah, he's got Siege Gang, Ringleader, Warchief in his hand. So we're going to start off by porting.
Looks like Gerry's kept a mana heavy draw. Hopefully just in the hopes of just being able to power through all the mana denial that he's anticipating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault him for that because, again, it's not like Mireles is playing a fast deck. It's Goblins you think is fast, but they don't have that lackey on turn 1. They're real sluggish. It's going to take them turn 5, 6, 7 to fully put lethal out there.
It's hard for me to imagine wanting to keep a Goblin's hand that doesn't have a Aether Vial or a lackey against Hypergenesis.
It's pretty rough. Gerry did draw a Shardless Agent. I think he has 2 now. All right, so next turn he gets to go off.
Oh well,
if he has big guys in his hand.
he needs to actually have some guys in his hand worth playing.
Let's see if he.
From the looks of it, he might just have.
I think see Emrakul in the middle.
Well, an Emrakul would be good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough. I'm pretty sure it's an Emrakul. I think it's the Shardless Agent Emrakul.
And he's getting a Simian Spear Guide too.
Yep, there it is.
Extra beats, but he might just wait. Yeah, he's gonna just wait because he's got Violent Outburst for the surprise end step Emrakul.
I do like it. Violent Outburst is obviously a lot better in this matchup because you don't need your own dudes here. You can just cast it on a goblin that's running around. A lot of legacy decks, as you know, have very few creatures in them. I think Violent Outburst. Wait, no, is that the one that targets? I'm sorry, that's the one that can't block. I think Violent Outburst gives all attacking creatures +1/+0, right?
Yes.
Never mind.
Or just all your creatures, not even
creatures.
attacking.
Okay.
So Emrakul will deal 16 damage to this Warchief because he might as well do it on defense since.
Yep.
Actually, he might not.
Oh, he left Tarfire in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Tarfire. I guess it removes a Shardless Agent and a Simian Spirit Guide or Elvish Spirit Guide on defense, but Yeah, if you're Gerry, you just wanna cheat the Emrakul into play now because you'll be able to block the War Chief, but that's one less permanent.
Right.
Because Mireles is gonna play some permanents into play, possibly. You got to imagine he's going to.
Yeah.
Gerry getting 3 different basic lands, so sick that he's got this much counterplay against Wasteland, Blood Moon, any kind of disruption that Mireles might have.
Yeah. All right, Mireles is going to be hurting here. He's going to see Flying Spaghetti Monster, 15-15.
16-15 by the time.
Yeah.
By the time it blocks.
Yeah. All right, Cascade time.
Is this real life or is this a fantasy? I would not describe Hypergenesis as the most fair strategy in the format.
No, definitely.
That actually might be Goblins.
Yeah, Goblins, yeah. Definitely up there on the fair meter.
Maybe
there.
Maverick. Maverick is pretty fair.
Yeah, Maverick, Merfolk is a very fair deck. These are the tribal decks seem to be the fairest of fair. Even elves can get a little.
A deck with Glimpse of Nature is pretty much off the table for as fair.
Crater
in my
Hoof
opinion.
Behemoth. All right, here comes the Hypergenesis again.
So, Gerry advancing
Mireles
his
is not
board.
playing any cards in his hand, so he's just unaware about the other half of the card there.
So Gerry decides to go ahead and put the Shardless Agent into play because he realizes Mireles doesn't know, is just not putting any into play.
Yeah.
Which means this way he actually has lethal. Oh no, he just sweeps the entire board.
Lethal enough, right?
Yeah, so Mireles drops to 1 and packs up all his permanents. Oh no, Violent Outburst for the finish.
Yep. Gerry's telling him now that you're going to put your own in play.
Yeah, definitely. The good guy that he is, showing him the Hypergenesis, pointing it out so for his future rounds he's got that knowledge.
Right. Yeah, not nice enough to tell him during the match, of course.
And, well, that's not even nice. That's just, No, my point is that Gerry definitely one to, it's not even rubbing or anything. It's literally just likes to share the knowledge,